Hello, it's February 24th, 2014. I found a couple alerts over at stevequill.com. Veteran alerts, drones facial recognition software being used to target veterans in rural areas for termination. Then a second one which confirmed it from somebody else. And then a third one. Somebody else is noticing trucks and physical surveillance happening. But first I want to start with, I did a piece, Obama Preparing for U.S. Civil War, where Dave from the X22 report explained that we're on the precipice of total economic collapse and to be prepared for another false flag, so the pending bills left alive in the U.S. Senate to strip the veterans of their guns can be implemented. The reason, as he explains, veterans, they're trained in warfare, how to fight, how to lead, and they would be the first line of defense for our country's populace to protect them from a tyrannical government imposing martial law on its people. They'd be best prepared to lead a revolution, a civil war, to remove a government that's become out of control. So, as far as the government is concerned, they must be disarmed. So, this was on the 22nd. Well, this first alert came out on the February 23rd, and it says Veterans Alert: drones and facial recognition software being used to target veterans in rural areas for termination. Dear friends, I had a very unsettling experience today, and I'm reporting this event in case anyone has heard from any other veterans any reports concerning blue Ford pickup trucks. I read some months ago that when veteran hit teams go out, the teams would be traveling in blue Ford pickup trucks in rural areas of America and stopping the veterans to ask them for directions and then killing them. I remember these blue Ford pickups would be equipped with uplinks to facial recognition software databases for target verification. The alert also included advice for veterans to vary their schedules and not travel with cell phones. Well, I walk every day about the same time until today. Today I went out except to have a couple paper targets rolled up and was on my way to put the targets up where my husband and I target shoot. On my normal route, I stopped and stared up at an orange-reddish drone or plane that hovered above my position and then sped off. I couldn't tell what size or altitude it was. It just caught my attention because it was flying so slowly and then seemed to stop above me. Also, its odd color and bulbous shape. My husband met me at the targets. As we were walking back to the house, a darn blue Ford pickup pulled up to the end of the dead-end road we were about to walk by, right where I had looked up at the drone plane thing. Had it run my facial features through facial recognition software? The truck turned around before we could see the driver and drove back through the nearby neighborhood. It did not stop at any of the houses, and I have walked through that area and never saw a blue Ford pickup parked in anyone's driveway. I noticed every blue Ford pickup since that alert. I've lived here almost 2 years and have seen only 3 vehicles there, and every time the driver stopped and chatted, whether I was shooting or not shooting. I felt like the driver was surprised to see 2 people instead of one. My husband was not with me when I hung the targets, and had that plane drone hovered over me about the same time I go up to walk every day. The truck was turning around there about the time it would have taken me to do a normal day's walk and be passing that spot on my way back to the house. I hope I'm overreacting, but I thought I'd send this out in case anyone had similar reports. Well, sure enough, after that alert came out, there were similar reports, as 2 other alerts from Steve Quayle has come in. Same day, Steve, last night, Saturday, I was letting my dogs out for their nightly duty when I noticed a pickup truck at the end of my driveway, but it was too dark to make the color of the truck out. Oddly, the truck then backed out of my driveway onto the road and drove very slowly, checking my house and property out. I did notice by the sound that it was diesel, and I live in the woods. This is very abnormal to have happened. I wanted to post this in response to your alert on veterans being targeted by blue Ford trucks. Not sure if there's a connection here, but it sure looks like it. From Michigan, KG. And then a third alert. Confirmation of blue truck, rural Kansas. Creepy. All vets must be on the lookout. Do not even carry a cell phone. The alert starts: Hawk Steve. Just read the Q alerts about trucks targeting vets. Didn't connect the dots until now. Hubby is a Vietnam veteran. I stay alert as to the going-ons around us. About a week ago, in the morning, a dark blue Ford truck drove in front of our house very slowly. We live rural, but everyone out here has at least 4 acres of land. Anyway, it drove past the house A man inside scoping our property out went down to the next drive and turned around, came back and sat in front of the house on the road. I was watching it, but not near the window, of course. He eased down the road the width of the acreage, stopped again once past. He scoped out acreage woods behind house as well. Then a car came up behind him, so he had to go on. Watched him pull out on the main road, called my hubby and told him immediately. Saturday afternoon, my husband and I were taking our dogs for the daily walk back in our rural area. When we started out, I was bringing him up to speed. Read the article I wrote on Steve's site. He stopped and said, I need to turn my phone off. This was out of character. Never done that before when we walked, so he turned it off. It was a beautiful cloudless day. We got up the road and suddenly, right on top of where we were, this cloud just appeared out of nowhere. Believe me when I say it couldn't have blown in. It was stationary, just sitting there. We both got really creepy feeling about all this. All I could think about was I pray there's not a drone or something in that cloud. We took the attached picture, which actually looks farther away than it was. My husband said it looked to be about 3,000 feet up. As we stood there and watched it, only a few minutes, maybe 5 minutes, it dissipated right in front of us. That quick and it was gone. Poof. Can anyone explain that? I disconnected our landline several years ago because they were on it all the time. Remember those third-party lines where you could hear someone on the phone? Well, it was like that. They're constantly messing with my computer, and I can always tell when they're on. I unplug everything from the wall every night. When I forget to take the battery out, the next day the battery is depleted. Go figure. I keep my cell phone in a Mylar bag most of the time. When not in use, battery out at night. I know all this is probably moot, but I'm not making it easy on them either. I crank up worship music just to annoy them. By the way, we pray daily that the Lord will help us stay alert and sensitive in our spirit. We have increased our focus on listening to that still small voice within. The point here is we're going back to they're targeting the veterans. There's too much out there. There's too many alerts. There's too many things happening. These bills where they're trying to the VA is making decisions to prevent lawful ownership of weapons by veterans without a hearing, without any legal legs to stand on, and the veterans' only recourse is an appeal. They have to go after the veterans first because the veterans will stand up to protect the American populace. Veterans, this is your alert. Be careful out there.